Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also the Brink, and we are one. Today, I want to talk about just a game that I've been waiting for so long, and that is the Callisto Protocol. And this is a game that has the co-director or creator of Dead Space was the lead on this, like the one that created this. And so I'm pretty excited. And at first, they didn't want to make it feel like Dead Space, but as they got going along, they noticed a lot of patterns and they just leaned into it, which I think was a good thing. But this is going to be my first 2-hour judging of Callisto Protocol. And so we'll have more content down the road, like Steam Deck and reviews. But for this, we're going to decide whether or not this is worth continuing from this video. So before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, hash that bell with your crowbar. Now let's get on to the short judging of this game. First up, this game has some issues coming out, and it's got mixed reviews. There's people that I wouldn't say I've seen anything that where someone's giving it a 10 out of 10 or saying they love it, but there's a lot of people that love, like it's that in between stage of they really like it. And it looks like some of the issues with this is performance and also potentially environment. We'll get into that, and I have my concerns too after playing the first 2 hours. But the first thing you're going to do, the first hour of my 2 hours was spent balancing the performance and the visuals. So I have a 3090 NVIDIA GPU with an i9 CPU. My computer can run most games pretty much maxed out on 4K. And with this game, it did struggle even at high. I had to redo some settings in order for me to be able to play this at a playable frame rate. And the thing is, what's really difficult about all this is that when I slapped it onto high, I start playing in certain areas and it would function great. I'd get like 60 frames or higher, but then an event occurs, drops it drastically. Then you read up online, looks like you can drop the VSync, like you need to turn off VSync and turn off motion blur, and that should help. And it did help me, but it still didn't fix the problem altogether. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to play this at maxed out. Ultra with some additional settings is maxed out. I'm just trying to play this at high and then with a couple of settings turned down, and I was still struggling with my 3090. So this kind of leads me to think that there's some major performance issues with this game that need to be ironed out, and that could be patched in. Hopefully they'll get that done sooner than later. Hopefully it's not a couple of month wait. Hopefully it's a couple of optimization pieces where maybe they let the AI scripts run too long or start them up, or there's a lot that goes into this type of thing and optimizing. So it's just kind of weird because it usually happens when maybe you're entering a new area or something new, like a new event that's occurring. And that can happen anyways in a game, but it's definitely noticeable in this. Like on the Steam Deck, I'm able to play it at 40 frames per second, but then when these events occur, that drops my frames down. So it's really telling me that it's an optimization issue. And that's the biggest thing with this game so far that's kind of a hindrance is that. But I was able to drop it down just enough to where I would just get the hiccups every once in a while. So I was able to move on. So after moving on with all the performance issues and optimizing, I did notice, I wanted to keep it on high. I'd love Ultra. I feel like you need a 4090 and also your own nuclear power plant to run this, but the graphics are amazing. That's why I'd want a 4090 for this. The graphics look great while being very dark. It helps with that. Being very enclosed space, at least for now, does help with that. I do know from screenshots that you'll go outside and maybe have a little bit different of an environment, but I do feel like this is a little lacking in the environment variety and enemies. That's what I'm kind of worried about, is that enemies and environment variety is going to not be different enough. But we have seen the trailers. They do have some different enemies, but I'm just a little worried about that. Like with Dead Space, I felt like they had some pretty cool bosses. They had some pretty cool enemies that really just felt different, where so far this is feeling like a zombie game, and I love zombie games, so don't worry. But it's definitely not Dead Space. What I would call this is a Dead Space gameplay kind of style, where, you know, it's not a clone. It takes the third-person aspect, the grittiness, the gore, some elements like you have an entity that is not the Untologist, but you have this prison that has experiments. It's a little bit overblown trope so far, but doesn't mean it can't be done right. And it's you're on this moon Europa of Jupiter, and so the location is different enough that makes it fun, but it is missing that flair of the Unitologist, where honestly Unitology mixed with the enemies and what you get in Dead Space is one of the icings on the cake for that game. We're gonna see if they can solidify that. With the graphics being amazing, the sound being amazing, the music tends to cover up the sound and the eeriness a little bit too much. It's very harsh on the ears, which is fine. It can add to the atmosphere, but in this case, so far in the beginning area, it honestly detracts a little bit. If I want to hear the noises as I wander around this place. I want to feel like I'm going to be attacked at any moment, and so it throws it off. While the sound could be improved, honestly, it still is eerie and it still is reminiscent of Dead Space. Then you can check your health from your neck. It's very reminiscent of the back health bar on Dead Space. With this game, it is with your neck with an implant, and I honestly like the way they went. Honestly, it doesn't have to be completely different. This is a good enough way to do it without feeling like it's just a copy of Dead Space. I know a lot of people are saying it's a copy of Dead Space. There's a lot out there like that. So far, there's nothing like it's close enough while being different enough for me. But this is my type of game. I love Dead Space and I love horror games, and so that is who I'd recommend this to. If you like horror games or Dead Space, there's a good chance you're going to like this game. At the bare minimum, you're going to like the beginning and enjoy it through. If you're anyone else, you're probably going to want to stay away from this for now or until it is discounted. I only say that because, especially if you don't like horror games, you're not going to like this. But if you like horror games enough, but there's other games that are coming out this month that you more interested in, obviously you can wait. So with that, that's my first 2 hours with the game. A little disappointing, but at the same time, I am super happy about it just coming out, and I'm having fun, and I'm just feeling like there's this resurgence of Dead Space, like games or horror. There's a resurgence of horror, let's just say that. We got Dead Space coming out soon. We have Silent Hill. We got a lot of different games coming out, blast from the past horror-style games, and I am excited. And this is a good start, I think. While we'll see how my full review is, this is my judging of the first 2 hours, and honestly, it was good. I liked it. I'm excited to play some more. So with that, let me know in the comments below. Are you excited for this game? Are you disappointed? Are you going to play it still? Because it is a mixed review kind of game. I think it is definitely worth playing, but I am curious what you guys think. And then with that, check out all the goodies below in the description and check out the other videos that I have. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Later.